Morning. So today's Memorial Day, and I laid in bed and played the Harry Potter game on my phone until about 10 o'clock, and didn't brush my hair, as you can tell, right? Actually, I guess it kind of looks like this anyway. But, so to celebrate this day off and a nod toward all the people who have given their lives for our country, let's take a look at Cooper's Brewing Sparkling Ale. This is an Australian owned company, Australian-made, Australian-owned company. It's a centuries-old top fermenting method and natural bottle conditioning, resulting in the characteristic fine sediment forming at the base of the bottle. And so as I move this around, I could see it swirl, it smells good. Okay. So you can either swirl it in and pour it into your glass, or you can try to leave it in the bottom of the bottle. I'm actually going to swirl it in, partially because, I'm going to swirl it in because I like to see the sediment and check it out. So we'll see how this looks. Looks like I got pretty much all of it out of here. So, aroma-wise, man, this compensation for darkness is really annoying. Okay, aroma-wise, this beer smells like grape juice. Reminds me a lot of like a Bock or a Doppelbock. Damn it, video. Maybe that'll be better. All right. Anyway, lame. So it reminds me of a Bock or a Doppelbock, which is interesting. Also, it says best after. It has a best after date, which is really interesting. So this says best after 7/9/14. So it's May 28th of 2014. 18. So 4 years after this date, which is pretty interesting. Almost 4 years after this date. And then side note, totally kosher. So interesting, as a bottle fermented, bottle conditioned ale, the conditioning process lasted longer. I can't remember where I got this. Oh, my goodness. I drank that smoky Scotch ale the other day, and I thought I had gotten that on Tavour, but it turns out actually that was one of the beers that I found at the store with a really long name that I went to with Jay Thoreau when I was in Louisiana. And they have just the coolest beer selection there. And so I got that. I got a Nebraska Brewing Company beer, which I accidentally left in his car. And then I got that smoky Scotch ale. And then I got this Cooper's Brewing Sparkling Ale. I'm pretty sure that's where I got this. So anyway, I'm excited. So I've actually schlepped this all the way back from Louisiana. So it's been a couple of days at room temperature while I was there, and then has been back in my refrigerator. So color-wise, gosh, this is smells so fruity. It's going to be nice and sparkling. It's going to be hot here today, so I think this will be a nice beer to be drinking. So color-wise, it's a lot like apple cider. It kind of even smells like apple cider. So kind of a brown color, very, very cloudy, hazy. Lots of sparkly carbonation. So it poured a little bit heady. Looks like it's going to dissipate mostly down, but there's enough bubbles going on that I think it's going to have a little bit of head on it as we drink. So let's have a drinky drink. This is a really, really interesting beer. It's very light and fruity. I don't want to say sour because sour has that sour connotation, but it's bright. Oh my goodness, you guys, my hair is ridiculous. Anyway, it's bright and acidic, I guess is the word that I want to have. Very interesting beer. It kind of reminds me of a cider. It kind of reminds me of like a really tannic grape juice. It has nice crisp carbonation to it, and the flavor is really good. It makes me want to keep drinking more. 5.8% alcohol by volume. You know, so a nice nice beer. This is a really interesting beer. So sparkling ale, you know, and this is talking about a centuries-old recipe. I feel like I've seen a lot more, dang it with this light, a lot more sparkling ales kind of coming up. There's a brewery in Walnut Creek called Craft, and they make a bunch of sparkling, they call it like a sparkling red ale. So it's not a wine, but it's very wine-like. I think it uses the same yeast in the fermentation process. One of them definitely has Brettanomyces, is very champagne-y tasting, so they have a white version of that. And I've seen a couple of articles recently suggesting that that's kind of a trend that's going on. And I feel like it makes a lot of sense for a summer beer go-to, because it's nice and light flavor and it's nice and sparkly kind of carbonation, which is pleasant. You know, and so in that way, it kind of reminds me of like a wine cooler or a cider. This beer is no different from that. So very interesting style, you know, very different from the beer flavor that I expect out of beer. You know, but not unpleasant. So this isn't necessarily something that I would drink all the time, but definitely something I would recommend to a friend of mine that likes something lighter, on the lighter side, or, you know, wants a different, interesting beer. I would definitely recommend this as something to try. So cool beer. You know, I'm glad I tried it. So, you know, there's that. If this is a beer that you've had, share with me. I would love to hear your thoughts on it. And thank you so much for watching. Happy Memorial Day. I hope that that you're having a great day and enjoying some time off if you get it. You know, we don't get enough of that in our current society, I feel like. So enjoy and cheers.